Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Paris Denard goes into enemy territory on CNN and gives this insane woke liberal a much-needed reality check.
I think today he said exactly what he felt, and we all saw it.
Yeah,
the day
that's
before,
what was so fascinating.
Right, the day before it was a wooden, very scripted, very stiff, no emotion. Today the emotions
someone on
were
Twitter
out.
called it a hostage video yesterday. I mean, that's basically...
I mean, that's what it looked like. It looks like he was forced. And guess what? Take a look at what some of the neo-Nazis are saying about his speech. Because one of them just put a new statement out that I just saw, just came into my email. He says Trump defends Charlottesville's Nazis against Jew media lies, condemns Antifa terrorists. He will not be blackmailed into condemning his base. So there you go. That's how neo-Nazis see President Trump. They are clapping for him and saying, he's giving us a thumbs up, y'all. We're good.
No, actually, they're clapping for you because you're buying into what they're trying to do.
They are not clapping for Sarah
Thank
Sider.
you.
You
They
better
are.
take that back.
No, I won't take it back because what they're doing is you just gave them platform. You just read their entire message of
No, I
hate.
didn't.
Yeah,
you should see their message.
Their
message is really strong, and their message gets out to hundreds of thousands of people. So I'm not giving them a platform.
Actually,
their platform
you just gave them. Actually, no. When you
Off the
platform
record, she didn't say the person's name
I didn't
or
say
their
the
Twitter
person's
account.
name, and I didn't give their account. But I am telling you that this is how white supremacists and neo-Nazis are reading the president's comments.
Not. It's how they're.
How do you know? Do you read their comments?
I don't.
Have you talked to them?
I don't.
Because
No,
I
I
have.
haven't.
I've spent time with them.
Well, congratulations.
This past
I don't
week,
believe
I'm glad you
I've
spent time with racists,
with
but
them.
let me tell you.
I have spent time with them
Anderson,
and talked to them
I'd like to
because
comment
I'm
here.
interested. I'm interested in actually what they think and what they're saying, so that we can learn how to try and change minds and bring people together.
I'm proud that you talked to racists, but Anderson, this is the point that I've been trying to make, which I haven't been able to make because nobody lets me talk on the show or on this panel. The point is,
CNN.
This is different. When you are talking about something as so divisive as the racial issues that we have in this country, the president wanted to take the time to make sure you had all of the facts because every single word mattered.
You were actually saying with a straight face that this president cares about getting the facts right before speaking, before tweeting about
Anderson,
something?
when I'm talking about
wiretapping in the Trump Tower.
Those things are different.
That doesn't matter? Really? Accusing the former president of wiretapping?
What I'm saying is this is a different issue. It's a racial issue. You know what? Everyone talked about the Merck CEO, Merck CEO resigning. Every time they said that, who happens to be African American, the Merck CEO, who happens to be African. But when the rest of the CEOs resigned, I didn't hear people say, who happens to be white.
How many of them did you
tweet about?
Ooh, will you listen to those hit dogs barking? Oh, good grief. The entire panel was enthralled by Paris, and poor Paris, he's in enemy territory here. He needs a safe space from these people. But this panel was glued into what he was saying, except for one of the most toxic people I've ever seen on screen. Good grief. This woman should not have a platform. This woman is a deeply unserious person. But Paris talks about an issue and then frames it in a way that gets all of the fellow black panelists barking. He struck a nerve. He struck a nerve, and he's right for it. He's right for it because on that panel, there are only two people who understand things. Anderson Cooper, who understands things and then lies to you, and Paris Denard, who is a black conservative. And let's be honest, black conservatives are just black Americans who have gotten over their trauma. There, I said it. That's the truth. That's why the liberals hate black conservatives. Because these people have looked at themselves and said, hey, maybe I can change. Maybe I can improve my station. Hey, y'all, I just wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. Their experts understand exactly what they're doing with gold, silver, and other precious metals, unlike our current leadership, which is giving us rampant inflation, terrible Federal Reserve policies, a president that doesn't know what planet he's on, and of course, an out-of-control Congress that won't stop spending. We have to figure out ways to keep our wealth safe. And the best way to do that is to go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group, because their experts can help you diversify your portfolio, and they've got an amazing offer for first-time accounts. Free gold, silver IRA accounts, insured storage for 5 years, up to $7,500 in silver delivered directly to your home, and a safe to keep all that stuff in. So go over regardless and see what they can do for you and protect your wealth and your future today. Now, back to regularly scheduled programming. the neighbors that I have grown up with throughout my young life, I grew up in the suburbs of Georgia. I've grown up with, on the side street of my neighborhood, a multitude of black neighbors. And they're all based, they're all intelligent, they all own their own businesses, and they all understand something fundamentally. Yes, they were Stacey Abrams voters for the most part. Okay, I understand. I disagree, but I understand. But these are people who are walking, talking American success stories. That is what America needs to look at when it comes to racial problems. We need to look at the ways that people have improved themselves and said, hey, let's start there. Instead, what the left wants to do, and this is about the Charlottesville Unite the Right moment. What the left wants to do is paint this as a normal, average, everyday part of America. Y'all, I'm from the town Kennesaw. Kennesaw is infamous because of a Now This video, which, by the way, Kennesaw should sue Now This for defamation. They should have sued back in 2014. They should sue now. Kennesaw has some very interesting characters in it. One of those characters, so to speak, has been, let's be honest, he was a Klansman at one point. He has passed away and leaves behind a very weird and interesting legacy. For instance, I think the last Klan rally that we know of that was held in Georgia was, I think, in Lawrenceville back in the early 90s, before I was born, 30 years ago. And 30 years before that, they passed civil rights. That is how far we've moved forward on racial relations in the United States. And instead, in 2020, instead of thinking, hey, everything's getting better, let's celebrate, in 2020, they had riots so large over a known criminal and a person who was incapable of putting his life in order. They celebrated him, put his face upon murals, and then trashed Kennesaw almost to the point of, I am shocked that Kennesaw was able to recover after this. Because the rally that was held across those railroad tracks was massive and destructive. Fortunately, Kennesaw quickly recovered. And nothing was truly tarnished, nothing was permanently destroyed, but it got close. We need to take a good look in the mirror and start asking ourselves, have we moved forward or are we moving backwards? We are moving backwards, not because we are hearing voices on the right say, yes, we were right to be oppressive and evil. No, that's not what's happening. The right is beginning to understand, just like the way Nathan Bedford Forrest came to understand how evil he was, how corrupted he was. And then in his last years of his life, he decided to go before the, not the Supreme Court, he decided to go before the State House in Nashville, Tennessee, and decry racist policies. That's what happens to people on the right as they get older. They start to look at the worst parts of themselves and they start to burn it away. I am in this process myself, as I deeply need it. But instead, we get rhetoric from the left that pushes a mentality that people are still victims, despite the fact that at this point, they are victims of themselves and not victims of a system. The neighbors I grew up with understood that. The town that I watched grow from a little side street to a major interchange saw this happen in real time. And now we're moving backwards. This hurts my soul to see this happen, to look at the progress that we have had as a country and watch it be washed away by the incredibly evil mentality that is insisted upon and pushed by the left. It must be considered cancer and it needs to be taken out like a tumor and hope that it never spreads again. That's what leftism does to your brains. That's what it did to this woman in this panel. She is a deeply unserious person who does not have all of her marbles. And Paris Denard is forced to tell the truth to a bunch of people who deep down refuse, or in her case, just can't accept it. That's the truth. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one, and until then, y'all have a good one.